Well, many of us have created a living history by filling out the names on a family tree, but this man has decided to take it a step further by writing a book about his ancestors' love story and their American journey. And joining us now is the Director of the National Weather Service, Dr. Louis Uccellini, also the author of a book about his grandparents, Carlo and Gemma Uccellini. So it's such a fascinating story. You wrote about this basically for your family, but you put it in a different kind of format. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, I grew up on Long Island hearing about my grandparents and their incredible journey to America as viewed by my father and his sisters. But the more I learned about them, I went back to Italy in 1981, actually met my grandmother's sister and brothers, and I realized that there was an amazing story behind these individuals. Learned more from my father's friends over the years, actually accumulated material over about a 30-year period, and got so many questions from my family about my grandparents, I decided I had to put it into a book. So
tell us a little bit about it. You brought them their American journey, but as well as this love story.
Yeah, so they knew each other as kids, fell in love, probably in their late teens. My grandfather was a headstrong individual, a very intelligent man, but decided he needed to make his way to America. He came over on his own. The sister of my grandmother actually interfered with their relationship, thought he'd lost her, rediscovered her, came back to Italy, married her, and then brought his entire family over. And one of the incredible parts of this story is he brought his entire family over, but she was the only one from her family that ever came to America. And when I talked to the family back in Italy in 1981, it was very clear that they were very emotionally upset about it, even in 1981. I mean, they came over in 1914, and all those years they still hadn't lost their heartbreak by losing their sister. So clearly a very emotional story, very important story, and two brave individuals to come and start a whole new life on their own.
And you see a little bit about this Ferrari shield. Tell us the significance of that.
Oh, my grandmother's maiden name is Ferrari. You can trace her family lineage all the way back into the 1200s, and there's actually a family shield. The Ferrari family started in the kingdom of Ferrara, and in Italy. It was one of the kingdoms that was actually broken up by Napoleon. And so they have this heritage on her side of the family that you can trace all the way back into the 1200s. On my grandfather's side of the family, you can't even go back, 2 generations.
Now, this is your grandfather who had some patents, which are really interesting. You actually had copies of those.
Yes, he had a pelt cleaning patent. He also put together a machine that cleaned carrots, root-type vegetables in a much more effective way. When they went to Long Island and not only started his own farm, he worked on farms on Long Island, which were truck farms for vegetables that were brought into New York City in the 20s, 30s, early 40s. And so he developed machines that would make it more efficient for other farmers and sold them. He was actually well known as an inventor on the island.
As someone who is also of Italian ancestry, I found this quite a connection to the book because, you're bringing to life a story that is typically just done in a family tree book. So how do you feel about that? You really just put this story, created it for your family initially, and now it may be spreading.
Yeah, so, I've read a lot of history in the early part of last century, right through World War II. And it's really an amazing story about the Italians coming here and what they brought to this country in terms of their passion, their hard labor. And it's something that, you really feel for because there was a lot of obstacles in their way, a lot of hard feelings about Southern Europeans in general and especially Italians. So when I hear today about, the immigration issues and the way it's discussed, I feel a certain affinity for it.
Kinship with them,
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, this book you are hoping will be out on Amazon very soon then?
Yes.
All right. All right. And hopefully you will be able to find it out there. Right now it's got a block, but it should be coming out soon.